It's your old pal back again one more time. This is probably going to go on YouTube because TikTok will take it down. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm trying to figure out something. We live in America, and blah, blah. Y'all heard me a million times talk about Amaroka, the egg, Ishtar, whatever. Okay? That stuff seems to me now like it's just, I don't know if it's old news or nobody gives a shit. Whatever. Right? So I'm kind of tired of harping on it. I don't really even care about talking about it anymore because everybody's underneath this fantasy of America is saved and by what? By a man? Is it? Now it's all going to be okay and everybody's going to go to Guantanamo Bay and he's going to deport people. That's not even what's real. Deport people. Everything is so damn fake. It's fake. Terroristic gangs, yeah, they got those. But you also see they're deporting people who came here illegally. But in reality, people, be realists about it. Don't be left or right. Be common sense. A lot of our people in our family most likely came here illegally, especially from the South. If you look at Texas history, anything that's good in Texas, like the King Ranch, the real story, they came and took that. That's the spoils of war, and it's about the Mexican American War, 1845. Okay, and anything established in Texas. That may be a good story for, the Disney movie Davy Crockett or whatever, or John Wayne's The Alamo or the remake, or, the whole fight for Texas may have been for something. Or it couldn't have been anything at all. Hell, it could be fake. Who knows? There's so much Masonic backdoor deals, because factually, Santana was a Freemason, and so was Davy Crockett. And I have read journals saying that Davy Crockett survived with the Masonic handshake, and he left the Alamo. Maybe a few of them. Who knows? There's all kind of, call it conspiracy or whatever. What I'm saying is like, I'm trying to word how it gets down to true common sense. You take everybody's, we walk in it. If you live in America, we walk in it every day, right? Because we're born into it. We grow up, you go to school, or whatever you live at, they have elementary and middle school and high school, or a ninth grade center, or whatever the case may be, however it's built. And you go there, and it changed, right? People can say, well, Common Core or whatever it is. Now it's different than what, you learned if you're a 40-year-old in America. People can say, yeah, school's different from, if the people have the kids and the kids go to school, whatever. It's different, right? So, and then you get done with that and you go to college, you go to trade school, or you get a job in, whatever industry you go into. And, we have a sports entertainment, it's America, right? We have everything here. Okay. And then people want to tell you, well, what dream are you striving for? And I always thought that the last thing, or the only thing that was like what made America was you have personal property. You buy into, well, the founding fathers said you can have life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, whatever. Okay. And then you find out that there's actually a whole nother agenda going on underneath life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Okay. You have to have that. So, the other powers that be can run their own operation, and it's not a mirrored thing. It's only mirrored in the sense that it's happening, in the occult. In the occult, the word literally means hidden. Occult don't mean evil. It means hidden things. Okay. So, Anyhow, you have this system in America, like, talking about going to school, go to college, get a job, raise a family, whatever you do in your life, right? Join the military, become an athlete, or whatever. Okay. All these different aspects. That's the dream. Own a house, own some land, buy a cow, buy whatever. But it's like, when people tell you, oh, strive for that American dream, then people can say, yeah, you got to be sleeping to have that dream. That's an old saying, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it made sense, maybe more today than it did before, right? Because maybe even the thing about dreams changed, the meaning, like, oh, my dreams and aspects and fantasies are about, striving, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, nah, you literally, it is a dream. Like, you're following a dream that it's not real. So, I mean, it could go both ways. But when people tell you, like, oh, strive for this and that, and we have to have this money, right, in this country to get drink, food, clothes, like, you gotta have money to get shit in America, right? But then, does anybody ever think, like, maybe I'm just not seeing this, but in my conversion from an atheist, I hated Jesus Christ at one time. I hated him. Hated the thought that he was even a story that was put into my head when I was, 7, 8 years old, whatever. And I remember as going to church and seeing some white guy, a statue of a white man on a cross. I'm thinking, hell, I'm young. I'm 8, 9 years old, and I'm thinking, well, you tell me this guy's from this part of the world. And I was punished a lot, so I read a lot of books. I'm thinking, how's he? Ain't no white people over there. So anyhow, I get to rambling. I can talk about 40 different topics in a short amount of time. Back when Tech Talk was only 60 seconds. So back to the money thing. You got to have all this stuff, and people tell you, you look at prosperity, you look at these TV preachers, you look at life coaches, you look at people around you, and they're like, you know what, you need to strive, make something for yourself and get that money. And I think, so you give me this, this paper of money with little symbols and stuff on it, right? And once you know it, you can't unknow it, but you know that it's Egyptian, Masonic, Esoteric, whatever. That's what I call it. It's Egyptian Masons, right? It's all just that genre of a pyramid and an eye and a little owl in the corner and so many bricks in the pyramid that equals 1776. And it's always 13 because of Osiris. And the literal saying above the pyramid is a prophecy of the Cumaean Sibyl oracle that Paul encountered in Corinth, and he rebuked her. That whole thing is the return of Jupiter, Lucifer, and the golden age. Like, every symbol on this American money is satanic. Comes from Mars, which came from Rahab. All these stories of a literal cosmic chess match between Lucifer and God. I don't like saying God because I think God's just a loose term. Yahweh. That's what I believe it is. Yahweh and Yahshua. God and Jesus. God is, people say, well, I believe in God. That could be anybody. But it's just, I guess the simplest thing I can say is, why work towards this money? But then it's like, let's forget about the golden age prophecy, the return of Lucifer, on this money that Jesus gave me. It's like, did he give you that? That's what I don't understand. Like, how can Jesus want you to have all this prosperity and all these things, but don't mind the satanic symbols on the money? Is that like a paradigm? Is that a joke? Is that a test? What is it? Because he's like, Mammon, you can't serve two masters. Mammon's the root of all evil. But I want you to have it. I've never heard anybody talk about that. Because people ignore it. Because they don't care. They don't research, or whatever the case may be. It may not be their fault. I'm just saying that's the last thing I need to understand, apparently. is, how can Jesus want you to have all these things, all these riches and stuff? But here's the thing. The giants had all the riches of the land. But he told Joshua, don't be touching them crystal balls. Don't be touching them diamonds. Don't be touching that copper, that blue copper, and that quartz and that gold. That monatomic gold that turns into a powder, by the way, because the golden calf was made out of that. That's a whole nother thing. People say, oh, well, that wasn't gold. It was manna. Well, yeah, that's another conspiracy you can look into. There was a smelting operation on Mount Sinai, that the British found a long time ago. But, the powder they found made the scales like 44% lighter than they already were. Did the Ark of the Covenant float? People say, oh, it was heavy, but 4 men carried it. That's a whole nother thing. Let me get off that. The thing is, I'm trying to figure out, God told Joshua, don't take nothing that the Nephilim has. And these giants had like crystal balls. That's all real stuff. They could see the future and stargates and all that. They had all that. And Joshua found these treasures like, the copper quartz. The Lord knows what that stuff does. I told you about that on that egg. And we know what copper does in its original form, and why the Phoenicians went to the Great Lakes and dug that shit out of there. Because that's where the purest copper comes, the only place in the world. And it's blue. It's blue. It matches the blood of the elites, the blue bloods. That doesn't mean that's not a TV show about policemen. So anyhow, he told Joshua, don't take, the treasures of the Nephilim, because that you're going to bring sin into the camp. Who did it? Achan. Achan brought it in there. Then Joshua lost men. Lord, why did I lose men? You told me I'm going to defeat these thousands of giants. Achan brought sin into the camp. Collect your peeps. Tell them, don't touch that shit. So he didn't want them to have it, but he wants, Jesus wants the American dream for me. Don't want Joshua to have the Nephilim treasures, but he wants me to have Egyptian, esoteric, Masonic treasure. That's weird. Just a thought. Big John out.